All right, guys. YouTube, like, subscribe, and share, please. All right. I'm doing a little walk and talk. It's a beautiful Saturday today. I got some things I want to take care of, and I'm gonna walk and get some exercise because it's beautiful, right? All right. All the world's a stage, guys. We know that, right? I've also told you Lucifer has been here since the very beginning. Okay. Now, please understand, before Adam and Eve even arrived here, okay, you got Lucifer and this band of how many angels ever? They're angels, guys. They're very smart, beautiful men. You know the deal. They're angels, okay? And they're just deceptive, okay? Right? But they're still angels. They still have all the qualities of an angel because that's what they are. They're just deceptive ones, okay? All right, so just like Lucifer himself is the one that went and tempted Eve and them. Now, the apple, it wasn't an apple. That's a metaphor, guys. That is a metaphor. Okay, we'll get into I'll do a whole video on that about what that was. What I've been taught. Again, guys, this is more of this wisdom of the ancients. This is the information that they're told. Okay, when you're high ranking, get up high in Scientology and Freemason, and all that. I'm telling you, this is the information that they're given. Okay, all right. Since Lucifer's been around from the start and all these angels, you have to understand, just as anything's starting to build up anywhere or anything's happening, they're behind it all. They're the ones with the AI. They're the ones with the ideas. All the way we have laws and governments and taxation and the invention of interest. That's a very evil thing when they came up with interest, right? They're making money off of the passage of time is what that is, right? Making money out of thin air off the passage of time. Right? But we know how interest works is the way they frame it. Well, it's like, well, damn, if I need to make a big purchase, I need the money. Well, you know the deal. But behind all that, and they're doing it, they've had artificial intelligence from the start, guys. It's not that this isn't technology that's evolved here on the earth. No, these angels came with all the technology to begin with, and they slowly feed it to us. Okay? And Lucifer's behind. So, you guys, when people are starting to branch out and people are here and there, they've got all these angels, right? And I guess it's got to be a huge number. They're spread out and they're running everything in the back. That's why you'll never ever hear the name of the people that are really running. The people really at the top of stuff, the people that are really pulling the strings and really running shit, you never know their names. Okay? And at the very top of it all is one of these fucking angels. Because again, guys, angels are immortal. You cannot kill them. We cannot destroy them here in the heavenly realm. You can't. So they're here. They've been here the whole time and they're not going anywhere. There's nowhere for them to go. All right? And they're angels. You think they're just going to lay down and go, well, no. They're running this world until Jesus returns. That is the deal. All right? Not in a rapture. No one's getting sucked away. He's coming here to reign and fix this. Another trick of Lucifer, guys, is we're supposed to all believe, well, first of all, his biggest trick was to get everyone to believe he doesn't exist, right? All right? Well, then they've done a razzle-dazzle with the scripture and trying to tell people, have these preachers telling people, mainstream thing, people think that Lucifer right now is in hell or he's falling in the bottomless pit, locked away. No. He's been here the whole time running everything behind the scenes with these fucking angels everywhere. You guys are angels. They're super smart and charming and intelligent and handsome. And they have artificial intelligence. They've had it from the start. That's not some technology that evolved here with us. That's how everything is done. All these wars, Lucifer's behind it all. All the central banks that were started by the Rothschilds family, those Rothschilds are descendants of fallen angels breeding with women. Okay? When all the governments are set up, do you understand? The British Empire, who was the most successful but most evil empire there is, running around. They rape and pillage and steal and do all this stuff and colonize everything. That Lucifer was behind them. We wouldn't do that to one another, guys. We wouldn't do that. They're behind all of that shit. They make everything happen. Even America, man, is an extension of the British Empire. They framed it as, oh, Americans wanted to break away and there's this new experiment in democracy. Well, democracy, guys, is an old thing that goes back to ancient Greece. That's where democracy started with the pagans. That's where all of this started. That's why the sororities and fraternities are Greek societies, and they do rituals, and that's how they bring people in to the Luciferian groups through some of the sororities and fraternities as well, guys. Democracy says, oh, rule of the people, by the people, for the people. That's not really what it is, guys. In ancient Greece, a true democracy, everyone votes on everything. Not representatives that you have go there. And not the same two jokers year after year that are making the decisions. A true democracy, like in the city-states in ancient Greece, everyone voted on everything. But here's the deal. There's certain things you have to be and have in order to vote, guys. Not everyone got to be part of it. You had to be a wealthy, landowning elite, basically. Right? Nothing's changed, guys. It's always been the wealthy elites run and own everything. They use us as their slaves to do their work, basically. And they pretend like, oh, well, everything just happens organically and this and that. No. The wealthy elites are running things. They always have been. And they keep it in the family. And they keep it in their bloodlines, okay? America, that was a whole fake out with the Revolutionary War. I know this is crazy to you guys. The Rothschilds funded both sides of the wars. When someone's funding both sides of the same war, well, then you know it's bullshit. That was to make it look like America would break away, this new democracy that's for freedom and this and that and the other. The Statue of Liberty, that is Lucifer there, holding the light up, the light bearer. America is not a Christian nation. It wasn't founded as a Christian nation. That's a lie. This is a nation that Lucifer founded. One nation under God is under him. All that money, there's so much satanic shit on the money, it's not even funny. I made a rhyme. Okay. America was started by Freemason devil worshippers. All those founding fathers, the Constitution and the way to do all that, Lucifer did that with AI. Okay. Our Constitution is actually quite evil. We'll talk about that in another video. It's actually quite evil. What it does is it defends lawless people to the bitter end. It defends criminals that hurt other people to the bitter end, and it does nothing for the victims. But they frame it like, oh, we're so great because no one will ever get wrongly convicted here, or da-da-da-da-da. No. It's to let, do you know how many crimes go unpunished? Do you know how many crimes when someone does something really horrible and to get a conviction in a plea agreement, they'll drop it down to something low and it doesn't even matter. And the poor victim's like, damn, man, you know, it happens all the time. Our Constitution is evil, and it was created by Lucifer with artificial intelligence. Okay? We are an extension of the British Empire, just a colony that it's never changed, guys. Lucifer runs the United States, the British Empire, which would be England in that, of course, and Israel, which is capital Jerusalem. Do you understand that now? They say the three heads of the snake are England, the British Empire, America, which is an extension of it, and Israel. All Israel is Lucifer wanted basically a military base in the middle of the Middle East and to bring on, they're trying to force Bible prophecy. But this is a whole nother video. I'll have to explain all that. Okay. Now, America was started by a bunch of devil-worshipping Freemasons. Every one of them were. You can look it up. They were all Freemasons. And please don't, you can't think, oh, Freemasons are just a charity. They were good Christian men. They weren't Christians. They were deists that believe in gods. They were pagans. and they worship Lucifer, and Lucifer was there with them setting the whole thing up. He's been here the whole time, guys. Okay, and he shows them all the wisdom. He shows them all because he has it. They can do what you would consider magic with things and all this, and they show them this. Okay, now let me tell you something. Our presidents here are chosen every 4 years at a place called Bohemian Grove in California. Well, every year in the summer, the most important, powerful men meet there. Okay, just men. And in July, they meet there every year. A presidential election year, they decide who it's going to be there. I'm not kidding. And then what they do is they sacrifice a child. They have a big owl there that represents Moloch. And they used to be, back in the day, it's called passing the child through the fire. That's how you would sacrifice it. You would offer the baby right to him. The whole thing would be on fire, and you'd offer the child right into the fire as an offering to him. So they do that at Bohemian Grove every year. They actually sacrifice a child there every year. And what they do is, the presidential year, they sacrifice the child, and then they think that's going to give them wisdom and all this shit to pick the right one. Every time, both candidates are fine and are acceptable. Every time, guys. Doesn't matter who wins. All right? Doesn't matter who wins. And they select it. Because they all are in the bloodline. Okay? Our leaders are bred. They're all in the bloodline. Every one of them. Now, you don't believe me, you can look this up. There was a 12-year-old girl. Her name was Brigitte d'Avignon. And she's from California. And she did a project using her grandfather's genealogy software and programs. And she traced every single American president except the 8th president, Martin Van Buren. She traced every single one of them back as a direct descendant of King John of England, the dude that signed the Magna Carta in 1215 of all things, right? Okay. You guys, every one of them, and that includes the ones now, because she did up through the 43rd president, which would have been the one before Obama, Bush, second Bush, right? Every one of them except Martin Van Buren. And he was Dutch, which, that's a whole other thing. Even now, Obama, Trump, and Biden, all of them go back to that line. And so would have, Kamala Harris does too. They all do. Or you don't make it there. Okay? Go look this up. A 12-year-old girl in 2010, I believe it was, named Brigitte d'Avignon, did this project, and it checks out, man. Now, there's a reason for that. You can't tell me it's a coincidence that every president of the United States, except one, just so happens to be a direct descendant, and that's not that many great-grandfathers or whatever back, because King John was, in the 1200s. Yeah, that is a long time ago, I guess, now that I think about it. Duh. I was thinking something else, I'm sorry. But still, a direct descendant of this dude, it'd be, probably 10, 12, 13 greats back, but they're all a direct descendant, guys. That's for a reason. They breed them. Just like the leaders, just like the kings and queens that used to run everything. And the royalty we still have now. Of course, they're bred that way because they follow a very strict familial bloodline, guys. All the world's a stage, guys. I'm just trying to tell you little by little what the fuck is happening. The United States, America was never a Christian nation, was never. Some of the people settling her, the Puritans and stuff, and the Quakers were. But that's how they wanted to frame it. That's not at all the truth at all. They didn't come here to have freedom of religion. They came here so they could have freedom from religion. Guys, you can come here and practice whatever you want. Satanism, do whatever you want here. It's fine. All right? All those secret societies, Freemasons stuff, they made it illegal and shit in Europe, and they were kicking them out. They came here so they could do what they wanted. You better read the Constitution again. It's not freedom of religion. It's freedom from religion. See you in the next video.